Hi, everyone. My name is Rich Hall. I'm with the Rich Hall Group, an executive coach and business advisor for small and medium-sized businesses. Today, we're meeting with Bart Pitcock, who is with Sales Xceleration. Bart's an outsourced VP of Sales. So, Bart, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what an outsourced VP of Sales does?
Yeah, thanks, Rich. Well, basically, it's exactly what it sounds like. I would serve as a fractional outsourced sales leader. If you want to call me a VP of sales, that's great. We'll take whatever title is appropriate for the company. But I would come in on an outsourced basis and lead the company's sales organization in terms of actually being the manager for the sales team, being that sales executive that interacts with the other organizational leaders, basically to lead, hopefully, revenue growth and generation for the company.
Okay, so let's take that a step further. We've got a lot of small businesses that are looking to grow, and maybe the first time that they've hired a sales rep or actually built out a sales organization. What are the top things that an owner at this point should focus on?
Yeah, so in terms of selling, in terms of hiring sales reps, first of all, you really need to have a clear definition and an idea of what you want out of that sales team, right, for that sales representative. So, and that's just going to entail having clearly defined roles and responsibilities for that individual or for that group. So to do that, what we like to call is just develop an ideal candidate profile for the position and recruit based on those needs. So do you want that person out in the field calling on customers or potential clients? Do you want them, is it more of an inside sales role? How do you want them to interact back with yourself as an owner and with others in the organization? So just developing that ideal candidate profile, it's going to ensure success down the road as you hire that first person. Okay,
so with a lot of owners are trying to figure out, do I need to hire somebody that's a really good salesperson? Are they outgoing? Do they need to have, say, industry experience? What would you recommend as the criteria that the owner should look at or try to hire toward for that salesperson?
Hey, it's great if they have all of what you just said, right? They've got a great personality. They've got the industry experience that you want. And they just have those tools and capabilities to be a great salesperson and representative for your company. That's rare when you can find all of those all rolled up into one. So from my perspective, having and hiring a great salesperson trumps having industry experience. Industry experience is great, but you want someone that knows how to sell, how to generate leads, how to follow up on those leads, how to communicate internally. Becoming an industry expert or company expert, that is something that individual, can learn. And you as a business owner can help train them up on that particular aspect, all of those attributes and benefits of your product or service. But I would always say hire the best salesperson and individual over hiring someone just strictly with industry experience.
Okay. I'm sorry. So along that path, Bart, so now I'm a business owner that says I've reached out, I've got a few referrals, I've got some candidates. And I like what you said, which is, hire the best person and the best individual and the strongest fit for your culture, and skills we can train or industry we can train. So now that we've got a few of those candidates, how would you recommend the best way to interview the salesperson? And then let's also talk a little bit as part of that process, best practices on ways to compensate them as well.
Yeah, so you touched on a key word there too, Rich, right? You said you used that word culture, and that's that can sometimes be a buzzword, right? That everybody kind of gets all wrapped up in, but it's true. You need to find not only someone with the right skills, but also someone that's going to be a good fit for your company, both from a culture perspective and just a compatibility perspective. So one, it's important to still have, and rely on standard interviews. You want to ask those interview questions and understand the background of the individual and get a feel for that person's technical capabilities and those sorts of things. We've all been through standard interviews. But what we're seeing now is, more and more companies and even experts in the field, are recommending that, the companies utilize additional tools such as just a cultural or behavioral assessments. And hopefully that can be a rubber stamp or just that person is a great fit based on what you've already learned just from the basic interviews. So it's complementary to the standard interview, but we're seeing that more and more, which will generate and lead to a better success rate. The other piece that you ask about in terms of compensation, one is it's harder today to find and hire the right people. I think there was a survey that Sales Xceleration published some data that 50% of small business owners today are saying it's harder to find and fill a role today compared to a year ago. So part of that is having a competitive compensation package. It has to be competitive. It has to be attractive. It has to be a proper balance of base and variable compensation, particularly for a sales individual. And, the way to find that out is, do you have industry colleagues or trade associations or just relationships where you can maybe put that together? If not, well, let's rely on an outside resource, an industry expert or consultant to help get it right the first time.
Great. So it sounds like we've got a great plan going forward on how to hire our salespeople. For our audience out there, I invite you to look for our next in the series of videos with Bart, where we're going to talk a little bit more about once you've hired them, what's the next steps to get them acclimated within your department and your company. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you.
Thanks, folks.